One of the biggest tools for transforming your body over 50 is not about diet, it's not about exercise, and I'm going to be talking about it in this video, as well as all the methods you need to transform your body around menopause. You may be surprised and delighted to know that you can have the body of your dreams, whether you're over 40, 50 or 60, by taking some simple steps and making a commitment. Hello fam, my name's Melissa Neal and this channel is all about helping you if you're a woman over 40 or like me over 50 get in fantastic shape. And there is no reason why you can't. Yes, your body is different now than it was in your younger days. And that means you have to change your mindset. So that's what I was talking about at the start. That's the biggest tool that you need to transform your body. And one of the reasons why is you've got to turn it upside down, what you think about fat loss and how to get in shape. You've got to think about it in a totally different way than your younger days. It's about being able to do this fat loss process and do it in the long term. There are no quick fixes, there are no shortcuts. You'd see a lot of stuff on social media that shows you before and after pictures, but they haven't shown you what it's taken to actually get from point A to point B. It takes time. It takes time to build a body. With my own body, I've actually been doing this for 6 years and I had 2.5 years of failure, and I've actually made a video here that I'm going to link up here all about my journey. It tells you exactly where I went wrong, so I'm not going to talk about that in this video, but I am going to talk about my own experience when I explain to you what it takes to transform your body around menopause, because you've got to be doing things differently. So what's happened is your hormones like estrogen and progesterone and testosterone, they're all depleting. And so when your hormones are depleting, your body changes. You also lose muscle mass over the age of 40 at a rate of just under 1% per year. So what's happened is your metabolism has changed, and what you did in your younger days, it no longer works anymore. And that's what happened to me. What I did in my younger days was a ton of cardio, watching what I eat but not really tracking anything that I ate, and that kind of worked. I stayed in pretty good shape until I hit my early 40s. And then bang, everything changed. I started gaining weight and I was doing the exact same things that I was doing in my younger days to get in shape, but they just weren't working anymore. And it's really upsetting, isn't it? It actually made me feel quite bad about myself because I felt like a failure. I felt like I was doing these things, doing a ton of cardio, really working hard, implementing some strategies around food, and I felt like a failure. I was gaining weight. I was really feeling bad about my body. This is what I looked like. And actually, you won't find any pictures of me in a bikini because I wasn't comfortable in showing my body in swimwear. And so I spent 2.5 years of failure. And when I got this right, that's when I set up this YouTube channel. Because of your hormones and how your body metabolizes fat, you've got to set on fire all your preconceived ideas about what actually works for fat loss. That's going back to the mindset stuff. Forget what's happened in the past and what's worked. It's not going to work anymore. You've got to do things differently. You literally have to be doing the opposite of what you think and what you did in your younger days. It's going to feel really counterintuitive. That's where the mindset comes in, because you have to trust the process. If this is going to work for you, you have to trust that it's going to work. And trust me, it does work. because I've put thousands of women through this process. Thousands of women have gone through my programs. I've also worked with hundreds of women as a coach, and I've worked with my own body. So this stuff, I promise you, it works. So I'm going to start off talking about food. And of course, yes, you do need to be in a calorie deficit. So that means burning more energy than you're putting in, which the energy you're putting in is food. For many women over 40, including me, just simply being in a calorie deficit isn't enough. So what happened to me, and this is quite typical, is you take your calories lower and you find it's not working. So what do? You think, oh, I'm going to take my calories even lower. And then what happens is you're taking your calories so low. So for me, that was kind of around 1,300 calories. It negatively impacts on your metabolism. So your metabolism slows down and it results in your body storing more fat. So I just stored a lot more fat around my midsection. So what do you need to be doing with your food? Well, don't take your calories too low, because that's going to destroy your already waning metabolism. A good calorie range, and of course it's going to be dependent on your weight, would range anywhere between 1,400 calories at the absolute lowest. I like to go above 1,500 for most women, over 2,000 calories for some women for weight loss. So if you're over the 200 pound mark, you're going to be needing to take in at least 2,000 calories for weight loss. Then you've got to look at your balance of protein, carbohydrates and fats, and make sure your protein's really high, because that's going to build your metabolism. So you need to be taking in 1 gram of protein for every pound in your body weight. If you weigh over 170 pounds, shoot for your goal body weight. So say you weigh 200 pounds and you think, oh, well, my goal body weight is 150 pounds. Take in 150 grams of protein per day. And I promise you, you can get in all that protein. Have a look at what I eat in a day. I also have a free nutrition guide, which I'm going to link here, that you can download, and it also includes a sample meal plan. This is the other thing that women over 40 and over 50 and around menopause, you tend to get it wrong, and I got it wrong. So what I was doing a ton of running. What that does, so lots of long distance running, any kind of what I would call strenuous cardio, is actually going to wear your muscle away. It's going to deplete your muscle. That's exactly what you don't want at this stage in life, because your muscle, as I've said before, you're already losing muscle mass at a rate of just under 1% per year. So you don't want to be losing any more muscle. You want to be building it up, and I'm going to get to that. Excessive intense cardio, so I'm not talking about walking. The other types of strenuous cardio, they do actually wear your muscle down. You want to keep your cardio up to about a maximum of 30 minutes per session. But what you want to be doing is focusing on strength training. And this is where it comes back to the mindset, because a lot of people, they think, oh, I don't really trust that's going to work, because you've always been told traditionally what you need to do is do cardio to lose body fat, don't you? But at this stage in life, that actually doesn't do you any favours. The best exercise to lose body fat is strength training. So you've got to throw everything out of the water that you already knew about exercise and burning fat. What strength training does, if you're doing it correctly, is it builds the muscle up that you've lost through the aging process. And your body, if you do strength training, is going to burn fat just when you're sat around. So it's not about the fat that you're burning during the exercise that it's important. It's really what your body is like when it's resting. It's actually going to burn calories, in other words, burn fat, just when you're sat around. So your basal metabolic is actually going to improve. So you're going to reverse the aging process. and therefore your body is going to burn fat more easily just by putting on the muscle. But you have to have the mindset for this, because building muscle takes time. You can't just do it in 2 weeks and expect to see lots of fat burning. You really need to give it 6 weeks to build muscle, then give it 12 weeks. And if you can give it 6 to 12 months, you would have built a significant amount of muscle mass, and it's going to help your body burn fat more easily. So with my own body, I didn't just transform it overnight using what I talked about, which is really good nutrition and strength training. It actually took years, partly because I spent 2.5 years of failure. It's actually been 6 years in the making, building the body that you see today. So your mindset needs to be in the mindset of, I am doing this for the long term. It's not a quick fix. It's not a short-term solution like some of these crash diets are. They're a short-term solution. It's a long-term solution. It's going to give you sustainable fat loss. You're going to get body recomposition, so that's losing fat and gaining muscle, but you're going to be able to take the fat off and keep it off for good. Does that sound good? Now, of course, if you've watched my content before, you've heard me talking about high intensity interval training. However, you do need to prioritize strength training. That is your first priority. In the pecking order of exercise, strength training is the number one thing that you should be prioritizing. High intensity interval training, it's fantastic. You don't have to do lots of it. It's 15 minutes, that kind of thing. 15 minutes, 20 minutes. That can be really effective, and it doesn't have to be high impact. And if you want examples of high intensity interval training and strength training, I actually have a free 7-day program on my iPhone and Android app. It's called Body by Bikini. I will link it up here, and you can download it and start using it today. You don't have to subscribe to anything. You can get that free 7-day plan and start seeing how you should exercise and how you should eat today. I'm going to talk about being less sedentary, because the problem is, in this modern age, is that we're too sedentary. I would be sedentary if I didn't put the effort into moving around a lot. So what I love to do is talk about getting steps in, because that's going to give you what's called a calorie deficit. So that's burning more energy than you're putting in as fuel. But it's a really easy way for you to do that without compromising your muscle mass. Just get your steps in. Walk, do gardening, do housework. Dance around if you like. I'm always dancing around. I like a minimum of 7,000 steps. I'm getting in currently 15,000 steps, but it's whatever you can manage. And if you're doing more than you did before, it's going to help your body burn fat more easily, isn't it? Transforming my body, the way that I did it is I transformed here and I transformed here. And then I got the physical transformation. So what do I mean by that? You've got to turn it upside down, what you've already learned about fat loss. And you've got to implement the things that I've said. So that's going to take a mindset transformation. You also need to prioritize your body transformation. If you're really serious about making a big change, you need to make it the top of your list of priorities, don't you? So people that say to me, well, I haven't got time, they're actually not serious about body transformation, because if you're serious about it, you prioritize it and you make time. You're not being selfish. It's actually really great to put your health as one of your major priorities. Often as women, we look after everyone else but ourselves first. So you've got to start putting yourself first, and that's a change in mindset. Everyone around you, all your loved ones, benefit from you putting yourself first and making you a priority. You've got to focus on the processes. So rather than focusing on the end result too much, focus on the process. So that is the steps you need to take to get that transformation. So if it's around food, you're going to need to do your meal prep, and that's another thing that people say they haven't got time for. But if you're doing meal prep, in the long term, it actually saves you time because you've got your meals cooked up in advance. But the women that I see that do really well at this, and this is including me, we actually do meal prep. And that's how we manage to eat really well all the time and stay on track with food. So that is a mindset thing, making sure that you're getting your meal prep done, which is cooking up food ahead so you're not hungry and then eating the wrong things. And finally, the next thing about mindset, which I would really love you to do, and this is really important, is find your strong reason why. What do I mean by that? Well, it's finding something really compelling as to why you want this transformation. So for me, initially, I wanted to improve my mental health. Then my really strong reason why was getting up on stage in a sparkly bikini. And that gave me, a really strong reason why when things weren't going well and I was feeling mentally, quite low, I always had that in the back of my mind. It could be that you want to get into swimwear and look good for your next beach holiday. You might want to get into that little black dress at the back of your closet, or you might want to look good naked. And then a really compelling, strong reason why. And so I've achieved the things that I want to do, but now it's about longevity and it's about looking after my long-term health, being really mobile in my old age. When I get into my 70s, I want to be as active and I want to be as mobile as I am now so that I can enjoy life, and I want to be free of any chronic diseases. So health might be that really strong reason why for you. So think about that and write it down somewhere, because this mindset stuff is really going to help you achieve your body transformation. And let me know in the comment section if you're going to go down the road of body transformation, and if you've already gone down the road with it and how you're getting on.